Welcome in. Thanks for joining us for the WHHI Daily News, where we strive to bring you more Lowcountry news more often. I'm Bob Stevens. More than half of the 43 monkeys who escaped the Alpha Genesis breeding facility near Yemassee are back in custody after the capture of 25 of them over the weekend. The recaptured monkeys are in good health. A large group of monkeys, though, still active in the area. Alpha Genesis has set what are called have-a-heart traps, but still is hoping monkeys will continue to return on their own before tranquilizing darts have to be used. One of the best stories at Monday's Veterans Day Parade in Beaufort was right up front. The grand marshals for the parade, James and Gwendolyn Moore, a couple who retired decades ago from the Marines, both as sergeant majors, and are continuing to serve through the Mount Carmel Baptist Church in Dale. James was a training officer whose last assignment brought him to Parris Island. He's now the senior pastor at Mount Carmel and still serves in other support organizations. Gwen was a graduate of Parris Island, a decorated Marine, still also active in community service, including at Mount Carmel. We'll have another special Veterans observance coming up for you a little later in the show. Sometimes we should all consider, while on this Veterans Day, though, that while about 6% of the U.S. population are veterans, 13% of those experiencing homelessness in the country are veterans, and the suicide rate among veterans is 1.5 times higher than the non-veteran population. The city of Hardeeville has been hinting at wanting to host the next big Buc-ees travel center on I-95, and last week the city council approved setting aside land near the junction of highways 17 and 278 right off exit 8 to host the popular convenience center. The development is expected to coincide with the expansion of I-95 from 2 lanes each way to 3 that is expected to begin early next year and take 3 years to complete. There have been no official announcements from Buc-ees yet, though they did have representatives at the city council meeting. The company is currently building one of its large facilities near Brunswick, Georgia on I-95. It is scheduled to open next spring. FEMA has reopened a disaster recovery center in Beaufort through Wednesday at the Burton Wells Rec Center. For those affected by Hurricane Helene, representatives from the state of South Carolina and from the Small Business Administration will also join with FEMA at the center. It's open from 8 a.m. until 7 p.m., and you can still apply online for assistance at disasterassistance.gov. And there's an old saying that elections have consequences, and another that says all politics are local. Those two adages coming together with the South Carolina State Senate elections last week that now give Republicans a super-majority, able to override any vetoes from Governor McMaster and also to squash pretty much any opposition to whatever that supermajority wants to do. The House already has a Republican supermajority. Leaders expect new legislation on accounts for private school education, and with the primary defeat of 3 Republican women senators, they might again try to bring up a total abortion ban in the state that was previously passed in the state House but did not get through the Senate. For more details on these stories and other Lowcountry news, we invite you to visit the sources listed on your screen. Lots of high school football to talk about later in the week, but before we get to that later in the week and later in the show, let's update on the more immediate weather. Here's Maria Soden.
Thanks, Bob. Yep, so taking a look ahead, it does look like after all that rain we had over the weekend, we are going to be seeing mostly clear skies through this week with just one day of possible scattered showers later in the evening. Also this week is going to cool down a little bit and it should be less humid. So taking a look at Tuesday, it's going to be partly cloudy, pleasant, and again, less humid, with Hilton having a high of 73, a low of 61, Bluffton's at a high of 75, a low of 59, and Beaufort's at a high of 74 and a low of 58. The sunrise for Tuesday is going to be at 6:50 and sunset's going to be at 5:24. Taking a look at the tides, low tides going to be at 12:52 p.m. and high tides going to be at 6 p.m. Taking a look into the rest of the week, Wednesday, it's going to be sunny throughout the day. Then we are going to see an increase in clouds later in the evening. Highs are going to be in the upper 60s, lows are going to be in the 50s. Then come Thursday, it's going to be cloudy with scattered showers throughout the afternoon and possibly continuing on into the evening. Highs to be in the low 70s, lows are going to be in the upper 50s. And then come Friday, it's going to be sunny to partly cloudy with the highs getting into the upper 60s. Lows are going to be in the mid 50s. That's it for your Lowcountry Crawl Spaces weather. Let's head it back to the desk.
Thanks, Maria. Still to come, we're going to talk about all those high school football playoff games that are coming up later this week. And we're also going to talk with County Commissioner Tom Reitz of Hilton Head Island about what the county's going to do now after the defeat of the sales tax referendum. We're also going to talk about a special ceremony and award recognition for some very deserving veterans. That's next on the WHHI Daily News.